Well, the day has finally come. My little crate showed up. The one that I forgot to show you guys of me building. And what's in this wooden crate, you ask? That's a great question. I have no idea. No, just kidding, man. This has got my pump in it. Pensacola diesel, all the way out in Pensacola, Florida. Pensacola, I don't know what it is. Pensacola, Florida. Ooh, invoices inside of here. That's the one that cost me money. I wonder if they have. It's like Christmas. I didn't pack it with all this foam. They did. I don't have the foam making stuff, but I'm gonna have to spend a couple minutes tearing this thing apart because, well, I feel bad for the guys when they received it. Because I kind of built this thing around the pump. I didn't want it going anywhere. This pump weighs 50 pounds. Let me tell you, it's a heavy bastard. And I kind of wanted it to, you know, not come flopping out of there with UPS and their fantastic delivery skills. And I wasn't gonna just throw it in a cardboard box and have it flop around and get there. So we're gonna tear this box open and get to it. So if you haven't figured it out yet, today our goal is to get this injection pump back in and maybe, just maybe, get Oscar to turn over and to bark a little bit. So as this screw is stabbing me in the knuckle and I'm talking to you, today's goal is to try to remember where all these pieces and parts went so we can get this pump back in and hopefully, fingers crossed, we do it right and Oscar comes to life without trying to run away on us. We might actually be able to move Oscar today. That'd be really cool. We know the transmission works. I had it running before, and Drew was sitting in there with his face slammed against the windshield as we were moving it out of the backyard because I just needed to get it out of my way from where it had been dropped off and we had gotten it running. For that matter, I'd rather it done right. So certain things you just send out, and then there's certain things you just send it. This is not a send it thing, especially with where we plan on going with this truck. I wasn't ready to send it. I want to send it out. Does that make sense? Okay, cool. Yeah. Berry dream. It's the thing dreams are made of. So I'm going to remove the 14,000 screws I put in this to try to get this pump out of here. I don't remember how I put it in and let alone how they put it back in. I know I use a lot of decking screws because that's what I had and they like to bite into wood pretty good. So we're going to remove the 4,000 decking screws from each side and tear this whole box. I mean, it's just, there's a lot. Come on, really? I put a lot of screws in this thing. Pulling that apart. And I even used insulated. Because that's how much I love this. No, because that's what I had. Looks like it made it here safe and sound. With a couple extra screws in it. Ooh, I see pieces. I see stuff. Gaskets, hoses, stuff I was looking for. I was wondering if that was in there. Now I'm getting excited. I wasn't excited before. That's a lie. Of course I was excited before. Look at that, Drew. We got brand new stuff. We get to actually figure out where that stuff goes, which I have an idea. I purposely forgot to order gaskets. So let's see if we can get this lightweight pig out of here. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yeah. That's the new pump. They came in a plastic bag, which I didn't send it in. They came with caps on everything. These guys actually did a really good job. I'm quite impressed. And it's gonna be the cleanest part of this entire truck. Let me tell you. It even smells like it was leaking at one point. Which is what we want, because that means they tested it. If this thing came back completely dry, I'd be disappointed. Now the goal here is to not drop it. So I'm gonna throw a couple of these gaskets on. Pensacola sends you with all the gaskets. So I just gotta figure out which ones go where. I just got to figures it out, you know what I mean? And okay, what is this? No, that doesn't tell you where anything goes. It just tells you what it is. It's a yellow silicone O-ring, in case you didn't know. So where there's O-rings, we'll put O-rings. I think a couple of these guys go on the cap that goes over the chingus, and some of them go over the flingus, and there's really not a lot of gaskets on this thing, right? Like, you have this center gasket here for the seal. The rest of it's all, you know, fuel lines. I mean, there's nothing else. So I'm sure there's a couple that go on the other parts. Carry this out to the truck. I got a bunch of the tools and parts and stuff ready out there. All the fittings seem to be in the same placement that they were before. So overall, I'm happy. A guy is happy. So we'll catch you guys in a minute. Yep. Oh, come on. Why do you have to be so heavy? Because I'm not made out of plastic, Brandon. Is that right on to here? I'll have to remember where all these went. I don't remember half of this. That's all right. We'll figure it out. Maybe there's stuff I was supposed to pull and I didn't. But either way, we're gonna figure it all out. I have had this covered, just so you know. You can still see my rags in the intake like you guys yelled at me about before. Everything's there. It's all there. The engine's still in time. So what I'm gonna do is quickly verify that the pump is in time. It should be. And then I'm gonna grab a couple other tools and we'll get after it. And you'll come along for the ride. So now you know how to take one out. How does it go back in? Surely it's just the reverse, right? Your guess is as good as mine. I just don't. Yep. Now, how is a guy? It's supposed to. Time that. You know, you'd like to hope that when you get these that they're in time, and sure enough it was. But always, you know, verify. Because at the end of the day, you're the one doing the installation, not them. And I know they're going to do as good of a job as they possibly can. But always verify, because you're responsible for the work that goes into this. And you don't want to put all this together to be cranking it and go, what the crap? You know? Bone hammer. Click. Bone hammer engaged. All right. Here comes the fun part. Lifting this giant turd in here. But first, some certified whatever I had on my shelf oil. Because it just really doesn't matter. It just needs, it doesn't. It really doesn't matter. I'm telling you, when I tell you it doesn't matter, I mean it just, ooh, this is blue. Yellow and blue mix green. 2-cycle oil. Found this in an old dirty chainsaw. Huh? How about them apples? Is that close enough for you? Huh? Okay, let me get the blue goo off my fingers so I don't have a green pump when I'm all done. And yeah, oh, here goes nothing, right? That should just sit right there. Let's see how many times I slam my head in here. Can we get a slam my head on the fender counter? Okay, so there's a bolt and a washer. Where's the other one you took out? Over there? Those two go right there. My pump mountain bolts. Pump mountain. Now I know I should have cleaned this whole engine and done all this stuff. And where do those two bolts go? Those went to something. I don't quite remember what. It's been way too long waiting to do this. That's all right. I think those went to the on the. Okay. Here goes nothing. Ew. I should probably go to a gym more. You know. At least it sits down in there. Like, you ever done a starter on a big diesel engine? You got to rest them on your chest, and they weigh like 120 pounds, and you got to bench press them up in there, and just not fun. Okay, you need to move out of my way. You're just, I might replace you if you don't listen. I wonder if that's catching that gear. Looks like it is. So we could probably use the bolt to pull it in, to be honest with you. But I kind of like to get it started. Okay, I'm gonna grab that bolt right here. See if we can get that to, I know you guys can't see it. If I can get it started. Yeah. Got it. That was easy. No grunting, no groaning involved, just all pure silence. Click. No, not yet. You thought though. See? That one's got to go click now, see? Click. Perfect. Okay. Now, I guess I should have done that ahead of time. Please tell me you're on a slotted. Yes. Now, which one went first? The chicken or the egg? Okay. Two gaskets. One is going to go on like that. And the other one will go on over here. Let's get out the old handy dandy Craftsman wrench that I've had since I was a little infant. This was a Little Tykes Craftsman wrench. It doesn't fit. So I'll have to go get the right socket for this. But this calls for, so here's the interesting thing. This center bolt, mounting bolt, whatever you call it, bolt, that holds on the pump to the gear, calls for 80 foot-pounds unless you have one of the later ones. The later one is 110 foot-pounds. Let me go get the socket. 3/4 it is. 3/4, but it's the bigger drives. Ha, whatever, thanks. I didn't feel like getting the 3/4 out, so I got the 19 mil. It's the same thing. Oh, you'll hear that? You'll hear that? That's not the bolt breaking, although it could be. Yeah, it's torqued. I triple checked. Okay. So in the spirit of finishing that, I might have to go get another tool because we're going to go ahead and put the new gaskets in this thing. I'm going to see if my pick that I brought out here will get that off. If not, we're going to have to go get I don't know, something. I didn't bring the right tools out with me for this kind of a procedure. The beauty of it is I'm not going to stab my hand because it's inside of that. All right. Holy, that is in there. All right, let me go get that guy out so we can put that back on. Put those 2 bolts on. We'll put this gasket, that gasket, which is this guy, right in there. I'll be right back with all this fixed, I think. That's the hope, if I don't break a finger doing it. A little low on air. All right. Little flathead screwdriver down in the hole at an angle. Just gave it a good tap. It popped right out. But we can see it's dirty, so we're gonna clean it out real quick before we put the new one in, because again, that's just what you're supposed to do. You're in here, don't come in here twice. Don't come in here twice. So we'll scrape it off because it's a diesel and it's nasty oil. All of the dinosaurs. All right. Now what we could do is stick our little seal back in there. Got one shot, one chance to not mess this up. I am telling you, I am nervous. Not really. I use the infamous seal driving tool to make sure we drive it in there nice and crooked. Always do this on a rubber tire because that's nice and dumb. Well, that sounded like it went all the way in. Did you hear that? That sounds appropriately happy. It's in there. It is home. You can hear the difference in the tappy tappy. It's like a laffy taffy. What's that song? Tappy tappy. I don't know. I'm not a song guy. I'm just not. It smells so good. Got 2-cycle oil. Like I said, it doesn't really much matter. We just want the lubricity. And then the guy's got to remember, see, this thing's offset. So I've got to remember, did it go up? Did it go down? I don't remember. And it went down. Did it? Did it go down? I don't know. Can't see. Would have helped if I brought a flashlight out here. But I didn't. So we're just gonna do this, you know, Helen Keller style. Ray Charles style? Blind? I don't know. Oh no. That didn't sound right, did it? This is the fun and encouraging and exciting part, guys. So everybody goes, oh, I'm so glad you kept recording. Because it's just me trying to find, I think that's wrong. All right. Oh, see if we can break the air lines while we're in there. And, you know, make our lives fun later. Oh, you know, I'm getting way too old for this crap. That's not true. Don't make that agreement, Brandon. Don't make that agreement. It's not an agreement. It's fact. It is factual. Did I put that washer on this thing? Pretty sure I did. Guess we'll find out when we start it if everything comes flying apart. That still just bothers me. It doesn't feel like it's seated right, but you know, we did put oil on that gasket, so it probably just went right in. You know, possibly. And then we're 3. But with this guy in, we have completed all tasks on the front side of the engine. Motor? Engine? What do we call this? What do you call it? I've always seen this great debate. Great bait. I don't know if it's a motor or an engine. I don't really care. It's the thing that goes clickety, clickety, clickety. So call it what you will. Talking to all 4 of our subscribers on YouTube.
Well, tell him hi.
Moses says hi.
Oh, look at that.
Little Jason doesn't care about you guys.
Not yet.
1 bit. Not 1 bit. I mean, how does that make you feel? Have you called your therapist yet? Okay. So now, if you ever have a hard time remembering which way this went, because you're ADHD like me, there's a hole right there. And there's not right there. There's a hole right there. They go together.
How is that, man?
You like that, huh? How about them apples? And carrots too. So, we were having a problem, and it's the same problem, well, not the same problem, but sort of the same problem we had before. I think the fuel shutoff solenoid is not working properly, the new one. So we're gonna get the old one, play around with it. I couldn't figure out why this thing wouldn't start. It's because the fuel shutoff solenoid was not allowing it to open up the fuel. It wasn't doing fuel shutoff, well, it was doing fuel shutoff things, but not fuel turn on things. So I don't know what's going on with that. So we're gonna have to play around with that for a minute. But as you can tell, the injection pump is working. So, before I piss off my neighbors too much, we are going to be a fuel shutoff solenoid. So what that's telling me is that the fuel shutoff solenoid is not, it's either, I don't know if it's a fuel shutoff solenoid or if it's the actual butterfly flapper in there. That's, which would seem weird because that flapper seems like it should be working perfectly fine from being rebuilt. So something's not allowing that to open all the way back up. So it's either keeping it depressed, so the plunger's too long maybe. I don't know, I'll have to measure the old plunger to the new plunger and double check everything, make sure everything's hooked up right. But I don't know, man, I pull it off, I lift it up and everything works. So, yeah, it's now late at night. Not late at night, late for some people, but nonetheless, thank you guys for participating in this. Thank you guys for watching as we put the injection pump back in. We just went through a whole bunch of stuff off camera because this wasn't starting. I had it running with laughing gas. And just real quick to kind of give you a recap of what we did is I rechecked all the timing. So I went on top, pulled that little bolt for the timing pin, set my dowel back in, or the punch back in there. I barred the engine over till the thing went dink, and then I pulled the bolt off the front, stabbed it down in the timing hole, went and did a little tiny tweaks, and as Drew pushed in on that bolt, it lined up perfect. So it told me the timing was right on. So I was seeing fuel to lines, I was seeing my timing was right on, and so then I thought, you know what, there's one other thing that could be shutting the fuel off. We pulled that fuel shutoff solenoid, we pull the fuel solenoid off and just kind of lift it up on the little flapper in there. I don't know what the thing's called. Lift it up on it, and it fired right up. Right now, like brand new. So it gives us something to go look at, which is cool. But here's the key. The injection pump was installed correctly all along. It was that little electronic, and I almost didn't put it on there. I was almost gonna leave it off to start this thing, just because we had problems with it before, and I probably should have. Hindsight being 50-30, I probably should have, right? But people in glass houses sink ships, and that's what happens, right? So what are you gonna do? But thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys learned something. I mean, sometimes it doesn't just go perfect. That's okay. And this is my first time, honestly, doing one of these injection pumps on a 3208 Cat, and it works. So still kind of there. But thank you guys. Thank you for the subscription. Thank you for the likes. Thank you for the comments. Even if it's making fun of me, I'm okay with that. I'm used to it by now. I grew up with an older brother. I'm used to it. I mean, it's just what we do. So thank you guys for all of that. I love every one of you guys and the continued support here on the channel. We will catch you guys on the next one. I knew that you were a simple problem. I just, your little cheap Chinese solenoid bolt. We're going back to the Cat. Going back to the yellow one. We're going to stick this one back on. And you're going to work. First Form Energy. How do you start your project? First Form. Not a sponsor. Should be. Uh,